Do not scratch your eyes. You're seeing long-form Stallion content on this channel for the first time in over a year. Long story short, excuse the pun, YouTube have started incentivizing shorts for ad revenue and have stated that shorts and long-form content now support each other for views. This means that there's no point in me running two separate YouTube channels anymore, and all that juicy Stallion YouTube content will be on here from now on. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into today's juicy content. When I first went live with the COD beta on Friday night, my chats were being spammed with the words, "Is it shit?" It makes me genuinely think where we've come as a gaming community, that the first thoughts that go through people's minds are to try and tear a game down. To be fair though, after the disaster of Vanguard, Halo Infinite and Battlefield 2042, you can't really blame people for thinking like this. But today, I'm giving you an insight of my thoughts for Modern Warfare 2 during my time with the beta so far, and answering the question, does it suck? And as always, guys, we're aiming for a total of 50 likes on today's video, so don't forget to smash that thumbs up button if you enjoy it. And I always enjoy bringing you this next stat. 81% of you who watch these videos are currently not subscribed. Absolutely bonkers. Hitting that subscribe button is free to do so and supports me towards the goal of YouTube partnership. Now, I played Modern Warfare 2 for pretty much the whole weekend, so I had a good grasp on how the game feels and what it's like on a mechanical level. I was playing on PlayStation 5, playing mouse and keyboard, because I'm a controller noob, while streaming through a capture card. Input delay on the mouse and keyboard was surprisingly non-existent, and the experience overall on the PlayStation felt smooth. My first positive thoughts of the game included, and we'll make a list, nice, bright, and colourful coded maps. Farm 18 was my favourite. I love the way the map looks. Kind of looks like a downpour remake of COD 4, but with that shoot house vibe in the centre. Originally, Valdera's Museum was fun to play and the colours looked great on it before they took it out of the beta. Mercado Las Almas, or the market map as people say, was your typical 3-lane map feel again with a bright environment to it. And the Breenberg Hotel annoyed me at first because of its size and endless corners, but it did start to grow on me after a while. And I was absolutely gutted that they never introduced the Grand Prix map and have apparently removed all mention of it on social media. That's probably to do with a copyright infringement with the F1 group. The next point is that I love the detail in the gunsmith to bring us something new. The gunsmith finally feels evolved. I've had the same thing for so many years, and it's nice to have something that challenges our thought process a little bit more. I like the way that you can unlock guns and attachments for guns that belong in the same progression tree. It was a really nice touch. And when I was changing around gun attachments, it felt like the pros and cons actually meant something and affected the build of my gun. I'm happy with the operators and cosmetics that we've seen so far. I wasn't able to use the 141 operators because I've pre-ordered on PC and not PlayStation, but I'm happy with how they look and what you get for it. In-game, as you'll mainly see from third person, the operators look quite funky, slightly cartoony, but believable enough to give you a good gaming experience. The game feels like it's trying to be realistic and not at the same time, which is interesting but also quite quirky. The game for a first week beta feels somewhat polished and very well built. Yeah, it's obviously not perfect, but for a first weekend on a PlayStation, I was very happy with how the game felt and how polished the general gameplay was. And you can tell they've really spent a lot of time building and developing this game. And my final positive is that I love the depth of the new audio that they built on the engine. Now, the audio on this game is bonkers. Like, I genuinely don't think I've heard audio so in depth on any FPS game I've ever played. I mean, at times it does sound like there's a stampede coming, but the accuracy of the 3D audio is quite crazy when running around in game. And that's pretty much all of the positives so far. Tons of people came into the stream saying it looks like a Modern Warfare 2019 rehash, but you honestly couldn't be any more wrong. It may look like it because the engine is identical, but the gameplay is so much more different. And this is what brings me across to some of my negative criticism. Now, I won't just slate the game without offering a constructive solution, but a lot of people on social media are in agreement with my thoughts on this. So let's make a list. The time to kill is absolutely nuts. Like, it's so fast, to the point of where I actually think it's faster than both Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2019. There's times when I've gone round corners or even just peeked for half a second and died so quickly before I could even react. Then I'm feeling like I'm putting half a mag into everyone and people are just sponging hit markers. Not sure if it's something to do with the netcode or what, but it feels super inconsistent. And it really played into the hands of campers because you don't have a chance to outplay them. Which brings me on nicely to the next point related to camping. There's currently no red dots on the minimap while shooting your gun. Now, this did happen back in Modern Warfare 2019 and eventually they brought it back in, but this has got to be one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, what is the point of having a radar and silencers in a game when they don't bring anything to the table? People can legit camp on rooftops for the entire match and not be seen where they are because red dots don't appear after firing bullets. That mixed with the time to kill makes me feel like I'm playing hardcore. And if I want to play hardcore, I'll search for hardcore. This isn't core Call of Duty. The next point looks at the visual recoil of the game. Take a look at this clip. After I start shooting at this player, he completely disappears from my sight. And that's because after you start firing your gun, the visual recoil is so apparent that you can't see what you're shooting at half the time. And for a mouse and keyboard player, that's gonna fucking suck during a game where you'll get outplayed a lot of the time. Another pet peeve of mine is why they're not bringing back the classic minimap. I genuinely feel like the entire COD community is asking for this right now. And my final point is that disbanding lobbies after each game looks like it's here to stay, and there's no word on camos, prestiges, or SBMM as of right now. Scary stuff. So as we prepare for the PC beta this weekend, I will suggest you go into it with an open mind. A lot of people have been asking me for my verdict as of right now, and I'm happy to give it a vote of around 8 out of 10. The core gameplay and design is there, but they really need to listen to the community on feedback and what people actually want, versus building a game that Sentinel camper Joe Secott wants. So all in all, the game definitely does not suck. In fact, I had so much fun playing the third-person game mode and Prisoner Rescue that I could have played it probably a week. But standard respawn modes right now are chalked, and I would not advise playing them. Please just listen to the community feedback that they've set up on their Reddit page. I still truly believe at this moment in time that this COD has the potential to be one of the greatest we've had in a long time. Which brings me up nicely to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave that thumbs up, comment, and subscribe for all Modern Warfare 2 content.